The first inkling of the impending retaliation to India's Balakot attack came at 8:45 am the next day when, "Ma'am, Pakistan has closed its airspace to civilian traffic." The IF radar control hub in Punjab alerted the 4 Sukhois 300 MKIs,
"Keep on high alert,"
and 2 Mirage 2000s already up in the air who were patrolling the north and south ends of the Pir Panjal mountain range. As they watched India's borders, F-16 units from Pakistan's Rafiki and Sargodha air bases got ready for a revenge mission. Pakistan Air Force PAF's 24-plane strike package formation of 11 American-made F-16 Falcons, 13 JF-17 Thunder Combat Chinese aircraft, and Mirage 3 and 5 Pakistani attack jets made their way towards India. At precisely 9:45 am, began moving towards the LOC on their planned crossing of the Lakshman Rekha at Kalal Khas in Rajouri district, headed to the brigade headquarters at Nowshera and the 16th Corps headquarters Nagrota near Jammu, minutes from the line of control. The 10 am TOT or time over target was planned keeping in mind the shift changeover of the IF Combat A Patrol base. For Operation Swift Retort, they had calculated exactly how long it would take for India to scramble their planes in the air, by which time we would have accomplished our mission and on our way back. The engagement frontage was approximately 90 to 100 kilometers as the crow flies, extending from Jammu to Rajouri and a little over 100 kilometers in depth, split into two PF's Mirage and JF-17 squad of at least 8 aircraft headed south for Nagrota, possibly as a decoy force, much the same way the IF did just a day earlier during the Balakot strike. Here, IF Mirage 2000 fighters engaged them over long distances even before visual sighting, using BVR or Beyond Visual Range Mica missiles over the airspace around Jammu. Facing heavy fire and unable to proceed towards their intended destination, the PAF formation turned back, maybe wanting IF to think the attack was over. Meanwhile, the actual strike force of 4 F-16s carrying laser-guided bombs with other carriers playing defense sneaked across LOC and headed north towards Nowshera. Waiting there were 4 Sukhois, who were soon joined by 4 MiG-21 Bisons, one of them piloted by Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman, called for by the lady squadron leader as a precautionary measure, an act for which she may be awarded a medal.
"We need MiG support immediately. Over."
Who were scrambled from OPRs or operational ready platforms from both ends of the runway, covering the 200 kilometers in 10 to 12 minutes at a top speed of 1000 kilometers per hour. The lead Bison Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman appeared on the scene just as the 4 F-16s crossed LOC. In the first air combat since the 1971 Indo-Pak War, PAF F-16 fired at least 4 AIM-120 C5 AMRAAM or advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles at their adversaries. But the accompanying Sukhoi's 300 MKIs, equipped with NIIP bar radars that can track 15 air targets and fight with 4 of them simultaneously, allowed IF to maintain air superiority. As the Pakistani jets retreated, they dropped their laser-guided bombs on a local bridge and empty fields. The MiG-21 Bisons gave chase to the retreating squadron, making sure they crossed back to their side of the LOC. It was during their exit that Wing Commander Varthaman's radar locked onto his target, which he visually picked up using the Eyeball Mark 1. Just then IF control room radioed, "Stop hot pursuit! Repeat, return to base!" Military protocol prevents Indian jets from crossing LOC even in situations of hot pursuit, meaning while chasing the enemy. The Pakistani pilot tried desperately to avoid the lock by going into a steep upward curve, but Abhinandan would just not let go. He radioed base, "R-73 selected," and fired his Wimpel R-73 missile to mark the first ever kill in the history of F-16s. Abhi clearly saw the Pakistani F-16 pilot ejecting after his plane had been hit. At a speed of 15 kilometers per minute, he was already 10 to 12 kilometers across the LOC. He quickly maneuvered his plane into a steep upward curve in an effort to rapidly change direction and return to Indian territory. But he was already too late. Down on the ground, Pakistani anti-aircraft guns were firing, as were retreating F-16s. His radar warning receiver was shrieking loudly as one of those missiles hit his tail, he felt the aircraft shudder. Unable to control his crippled plane, he hit the eject button. Down on the ground, people could see two parachutes floating towards them and assumed, "Look! Two Indian pilots! Capture them!" So high up were they both that Abhi's parachute drop lasted over 10 minutes. As the Indian pilot hit the ground, he saw three civilians running towards him. "Is this India or Pakistan?" One of the youth lied. "India." On hearing this, he tested them. "Bharat Mata ki Jai! Where exactly in India are we? I think my back is broken and I need some water." He was actually in Horan village in Bhimber district, 7 kilometers on the other side of the LOC. At this point, more people reached them as one of the elders informed him the truth about his location. "You are in Pakistan. Pakistan Zindabad." Abhi still needed to do one important thing. Seeing a stream, he ran towards it. "Catch him!" Taking out his gun, "Khabardar! Stay away!" He fired 2 shots in the air as a warning. Knowing that aggravating the situation would mean getting lynched, Okay, take it easy everyone. He placed his gun down on a rock, discreetly opened his secret pouch and stuffed the critical papers down his throat. Seeing him destroy evidence, one of the youths fired. Then the crowd converged on him and began beating him. Despite being rained with blows, he still tried to dispose of the rest of the documents in the stream as the crowd tried to stop him from soiling them. Later, his blood and mud-soaked documents were recovered, including a blue-colored notebook, a survival on land book and a map. Just then, 6 Pakistani rangers reached the spot and secured Abhi, bloodied and with a broken nose. Paraded him around like a prize, shooting videos that ended up going viral. Then drove him 58 kilometers to Bhimber military headquarters in Muzaffarabad, where along the way, civilians showered rose petals on the Pakistani army vehicle, elated at capturing the Indian pilot. Meanwhile, Pakistani pilot Wing Commander Shazuddin of number 19 Squadron Sherdils parachuted down 8 to 10 kilometers away at Subscote. Intercepted transmissions among Pakistan's 7 Northern Light Infantry and the 658 Mujahid Battalion show that they thought 2 Indian planes were brought down. 2 birds hit in the air, both pilots captured on the ground. Mistaken for an Indian, he was brutally beaten by locals to death. The dogfight at Nowshera, though reminiscent of a classic World War II air battle, was actually fought with modern era equipment that allowed an aging bison to use technology from supporting Sukhois and Mirage 2000s in real time while engaged in the heat of battle. Bisbo salutes the courage of Wing Commander Abhinandan.
Bisbo's limerick. India answered Pulwama with the Balakot strike. The Pakistani response didn't turn out to be much of a fight. As the strike package turned around, their F-16 was down. Wing Commander Abhinandan really got into their psyche.
Subscribe to Bisbo's channel and be sure to click on the bell icon. Be the first to know when Bisbo releases a new video.